Good morning and happy Thursday, San Mateo County. Today is Thursday, November 3rd, and you're watching Sustainability Matters. My name is Camille Lang. I am a resource conservation specialist with the county's Office of Sustainability. Thank you for joining us this morning. Let us know where in San Mateo County you're tuning in from today. We'd love to welcome you into the space. As you do that, let me introduce myself and what we'll be discussing live in this broadcast. Welcome again to our monthly installment of Sustainability Matters, where we bring local specialists in the field to discuss crucial sustainability and climate action topics in the context of San Mateo County. In today's Sustainability Matters, we'll be discussing the newly implemented Disposable Foodware Ordinance, which as of October 1st is now a policy or a rule for all of San Mateo County that helps restaurants and food facilities reduce the waste created when people take food to go. My name, again, is Camille Lang, and I'm a resource conservation specialist with the County of San Mateo's Office of Sustainability. In my role, I work towards amplifying youth voices in climate action through our Youth Climate Ambassador and Youth Exploring Climate Science programs. When I'm not out in the field with students, you'll find me here supporting connections with residents, businesses, and all the beautiful community changemakers we are connected to here on our social media platforms. If you haven't already, please be sure to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at SustainSMC to get updates on our programs and opportunities. We also use those spots to listen to you all and hear your ideas. So please feel free to use those as a spot to share your ideas. So here again at the bottom, you can see this is our social media handles. Take a moment to follow us. We'd love to stay connected and hear your ideas in those spaces. But before I go any further, I'm curious to know what your favorite way to reduce waste is when you go out to eat. It's really interesting to think about all the different ways that we can reduce waste when we're taking our food to go. So please type in the chat to share with us. What's your favorite way to reduce waste at restaurants? In the Office of Sustainability, our mission is to build a sustainable community that fulfills the needs of the present and the future. And to achieve this mission, we engage directly with communities to understand their needs and to ensure that we deliver programs that are centered with broad input and equity. We also work across county departments to help them to integrate sustainability into their work, and we work extensively with our 20 partner cities. Our programs are designed to bring solutions today, but we're also solving for tomorrow, trying to really look ahead. We have programs that help the county both fight and prepare for climate change. We have programs to help ensure clean energy, water, and air, and that conserve resources for future generations through waste reduction. And we work to create livable communities that have affordable housing near transit that are both bikeable and walkable. To learn more about our programs, feel free to check us out online at sustainability@smc.org. You can see it's smcsustainability.org. There we are. And it's right there on the bottom of the screen if you want to check us out. We have a lot of really cool programs I'm really proud of and would love for you to learn more about them online. Today, we are joined by my colleagues here at the Office of Sustainability to explore and understand what the new Disposable Foodware Ordinance or policy or rule is and why we are so excited and proud of this innovation here in San Mateo County. If you're just joining us, hi again. Welcome to Sustainability Matters. I'm your host, Camille Lang, and today we are discussing waste reduction and the new Disposable Foodware Ordinance that just went into effect in San Mateo County in October. So with that, I've done enough introduction here. Let's get into introducing our panelists for today. I'm joined by my colleague here at the Office of Sustainability, Kevin Liu. Kevin Liu, I'm going to welcome you into the studio. Good morning and welcome. Can you introduce yourself a little bit?
Thanks, Camille. Good morning, everyone. I'm Kevin Liu, Sustainability Specialist here with the Office of Sustainability. I work on the waste reduction team here at the office, and I'm part of the Foodware Aware team.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you, Kevin. Welcome again. We're also joined by Lawrence Nussbaum of Environmental Innovations. Lawrence, good morning and welcome. I'll turn it over to you to introduce yourself a little bit.
Good morning, everyone. Hi, I'm Lawrence Nussbaum. I'm a senior consultant with Environmental Innovations. We are a small environmental consulting firm that works mostly with government agencies around the state to implement education and assistance programs that help small businesses improve environmental practices. In San Mateo County, we run the Green Business Certification Program, under the direction of the Office of Sustainability. And we are also the lead entity for implementing the Foodware Ware campaign to help roll out and operationalize the county's disposable foodware ordinance.
Amazing. Thank you for your time this morning, Lawrence. So I have so many questions about the new disposable foodware ordinance, and I'd love to talk to you both about it. Starting with Kevin, can you tell us what the new disposable foodware ordinance is and why it's so important?
Yeah, absolutely. So as we're seeing that plastic foodware is one of the most common types of plastic found in the environment, a lot of times winding up in our local streams and in the bay, our office worked on a disposable foodware ordinance looking to reduce the use of plastic disposable foodware at its source. And we're learning that plastics are persistent in the environment and they often break down into these smaller particles called microplastic, which contaminates and stays in our waterways and soil and even eventually being consumed by humans. And we're learning that there's a study by the year of 2050, it's estimated that there will be more plastic in the ocean than fish, which is crazy to imagine.
What?
So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So having an ordinance in place would just keep everyone in the community accountable by helping the county to keep our waterways clean and safe, reducing litter and trash on our streets, and help improve the health of our community members by eliminating disposable foodware that's harmful.
That is so compelling, a clear importance and need for it. And it's exciting that we have something like this going on in the county. Totally something I can get behind. Who's going to be affected by this new ordinance? How does that work?
Yeah, so the ordinance that our office worked on only applies to the unincorporated areas of the county, but it's meant to serve as a model ordinance for any jurisdictions to reference it and adopt their own version of their ordinance. So we've been working very closely with our city partners on this, and so far, with Redwood City just adopting their ordinance last week, we have 17 cities adopting the county's model ordinance. Also wanted to mention that cities have the flexibility to add on additional requirements. So for Half Moon Bay, Daly City, and Pacifica, they have added additional requirements around reusables. So for the full list of cities and their ordinance requirements, definitely check out our website. It's going to have all of that information.
That's amazing. 17 cities already. And then those 3 cities have kind of done something extra on top of it.
Yeah.
So cool. Awesome. Sorry, Kevin. Keep going. I'm just really excited about this.
No, yeah, it is super exciting. And as to the type of food facilities that will be impacted, we call it food facilities instead of restaurants because it also impacts other types of operations like mobile food trucks, temporary food facilities, farmers market, catering operations, basically any types of food operations that serve and prepare prepared food to the general public.
Got it. Wow. So there's a lot of people that are impacted by it, and it's helping reduce waste as a county. I really like that idea that it's we all have the same waterways here, and we all need to be protecting them. In your, what do you think are like the key requirements under this new ordinance? How would you summarize that part?
Yeah, so the key requirements are that most disposable foodware will need to be non-plastic, made of fiber-based, which means they're got to be made of either paper, bamboo, sugarcane, and it needs to be compostable, of course. Larger disposable items like your bowls, plates will need to be free of harmful chemicals like the PFAS and will need to be certified by BPI or another approved certification. Food facilities can only pass out disposable accessories like straws, utensils, napkins, only when requested by the customer, or using a dispenser to give out those items one at a time. But food facilities can offer those items only at drive-thrus and at airports.
I've been hearing that at my favorite local coffee shop where people are like, "What? I have to ask for my stirrer now?" But I think it's an exciting innovation, to just ask for what you need, right?
Yeah, I think it's just going to take a bit of time for our community to get used to this new practice and process. So
we've got it. It's worth it.
Yeah. And lastly, just the open containers that we could for grab and go items. So those won't be allowed. And disposable accessories, they can't be bundled together and they just need to be distributed individually as separate items.
I see. So no longer bundling that fork, spoon, napkin situation, right? Each one's individual now.
Yeah, a lot of times you only need to use like a fork and you're given, the spoon and a knife on top
The
of
whole
that.
part.
So, yeah.
Cool, cool. Wow. So sounds like small shifts that are going to make a huge impact on the waste that we create.
Yeah, definitely. And it goes a long way.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you, Kevin, for the overview of the ordinance or the rule, the new policy that's in place that the county has implemented as a model and cities are adopting. So, Lawrence, I was wondering, I have a few questions for you. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and some of the Foodware Aware team's recent, ongoing, and planned outreach events?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So the county hired Environmental Innovations to put together a comprehensive outreach and education program so that San Mateo County food facilities and residents know how to operationalize this new ordinance. One of the main focal points for this campaign is this fantastic website we put together. So I really encourage everybody to go to the website. We're really proud of it. It has a wealth of information for restaurants as well as residents. So we have quick sheets that summarize the ordinance, frequently asked questions, a checklist of things to do to get into compliance, and other types of guidance information. One of the things that we're most proud of is a product purchasing guide. We basically collected a comprehensive list of compliant items for different types of foodware serving needs, including the brand, where to buy the item, and in some cases, even discounts that we've been able to negotiate with the foodware vendors.
Amazing. Wow. So much cool stuff. And the website, I've been poking around a little bit on it this morning, and it's just been tremendous to see how comprehensive and there's so many things to explore there. So definitely
there's a lot of good information on there. As part of the project, we developed this Foodware Aware brand that you'll see throughout the website, and it's being used for a variety of information and materials that restaurants can use, such as window decals to communicate their commitment to compostables or reusable foodware. We have official notifications that they can post up in their food establishment to inform customers of the ordinance. We have table tent cards that remind customers that they now need to request their utensils and other small accessories. And of course, all of this information we have translated into multiple languages, particularly Chinese and Spanish, and in some cases, Tagalog as well.
Awesome. Cool. So what's been your experience so far conducting all this outreach to food facilities? How's it going?
It's going well. This is a challenging program, and we know that it's a big lift for food facilities that have been particularly hard hit by the pandemic. But the resources that we put together are really helping the restaurants make the transition. There's over 4,000 food facilities that are affected by the ordinance, right? So these are the restaurants, the food trucks, caterers, corporate cafes, food service, some of the other types of food facilities that I think Kevin mentioned. And we're reaching out to them in a few different ways. We sent mailers and letters out, notification letters in conjunction with the jurisdictions that have adopted the ordinance. We are conducting media outreach to local news outlets, as well as organizations such as local chambers of commerce, downtown business associations, and even some of the county's environmental and citizen activist groups. We've also done targeted advertising campaigns, mostly digital advertising, like Facebook and Google ads. And one thing that was particularly successful was a Foodware Expo that we hosted back in August, where we brought food facilities, where food facilities were able to come and learn about products and shop for products directly from vendors who were exhibiting at this expo. It was a huge success. We had about 200 food facilities show up to the expo. And then, of course, the biggest part of what we're doing is attempting direct outreach, one-on-one outreach to every food facility that's affected by the ordinance through phone calls, through on-site visits. So with over 4,000 food facilities, you can imagine that's quite a bit of work to try to reach every food facility. We're not able to reach every food facility, but we are committed to trying to reach them. So we are attempting to reach every single food facility, an owner or manager, make sure they know about the ordinance, make sure they know about the resources that are available to help them make the transition.
Wow. It sounds like you're trying to get everyone on the same page here. What a huge lift. I remembered, I think we were talking earlier about the the working towards a new market. Could you speak to that a little bit more?
Yeah. So basically, what we're doing here is creating a whole new marketplace, right? Through this ordinance and similar ordinances that are springing up around the Bay Area, Northern California, we're creating market demand, right? So while there are compostable products out there in the marketplace, there are not yet products for everything. But through these types of ordinances and through this market demand we're creating, the manufacturers and the vendors are now stepping up, and the supply of fiber-based compostable products is greater, and it's increasing week by week. We find out new products that weren't available are now available for food facilities. So, like I said, we know it's a heavy lift for restaurants. We know that the food service sector has been particularly hard hit by the pandemic, and so we want to make this transition as smooth as possible. Our team's here to help, but the food facilities and the restaurants should feel good knowing that we are actually creating a new market that is going to have huge impacts, not just in our San Mateo County region, but throughout California, throughout the country, and throughout the world, really, because we are creating this market demand that is now being provided by manufacturers, vendors, and distributors.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Talk about an impact. My goodness. Cool. I was wondering if you could share some of your highlights from the campaign so far. It sounds like you've gotten to know so many people in food facilities through this process, doing the outreach.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the greatest highlights is really working with the food facilities and their willingness to make the change, to be creative and innovative in how they serve food, how they merchandise food, right, in a new way, without a see-through plastic container, right? So how are people going to know what's in the container? So we're coming up with innovative ways to do that. And also just how they communicate and interact with their customers in general to have an overall better food experience. So working with the food facilities has definitely been a highlight, and getting to know all these amazing food service businesses in the county has been really rewarding. One of the highlights of our work is also working with community-based organizations. So what we refer to as CBOs. And they've helped us reach out to some of the more hard-to-reach businesses, some in vulnerable communities or businesses that maybe have particular language needs or even cultural barriers that make it more difficult for them to get the information they need to comply with the ordinance. So one of these community-based organizations is the Peninsula Chinese Business Association, and they are a highly effective organization that is already very connected and has very good relationships with many of the county's Chinese-owned businesses. So they are helping us do the outreach. They're actually going door to door and meeting with pretty much every single Chinese-owned business in the county. They're just an amazing organization that we're privileged to work with. Another organization is called Plastic Free Future, and they are an organization that's well versed in plastic reduction opportunities, and they specialize in outreach and assistance specifically to the Latinx community. So again, that organization is helping us reach out to Latinx-owned businesses, and again, going door to door, meeting with the business owners, really providing a detailed level of technical assistance to help them make the change.
Wow. Those community-based organizations, I think, are some of the most impactful work that we get to see in our office as well. So it's great to hear that there's so many involved in supporting this ordinance implementation and the outreach.
Absolutely. I think it would be hard. It would hard for us to be as effective as we are being, especially for these hard to reach communities, without the help of these local organizations that really know their community and know how to communicate with them and get them the information they need.
It's amazing.
One thing I do want to mention is that, another highlight that we're able to bring to the restaurants and food facilities are the incentives that we have available through the program. So both the technical assistance, but also financial incentives to offset the costs of compliant compostable products, because in some cases they may be more expensive, and also just kind of making the shift from what you're using to maybe a new supplier, a new vendor, and a new product. There can be costs associated with it. So we do have some financial resources to help offset the costs, particularly for businesses that are in a need and experience more economic hardship. We also have incentives and technical assistance through our partner, Rethink Disposable, who is helping restaurants incorporate more reusable foodware in their operations, which is really the most sustainable solution of all because it eliminates single-use waste altogether, and it saves the restaurant money over the long term because they don't have to keep buying disposable products.
Wow, amazing, amazing. There's so much going on. It sounds like really rewarding work to be a part of at the moment. Thank you for talking more about it and giving us a little inside scoop of like how it's going and the highlights of it.
Absolutely. It is rewarding.
So,
It's challenging work. It's important work. It's impactful work, and it's definitely rewarding.
Yeah, you're speaking our language here with sustainability. It's it's challenging but so rewarding when we get to see that this long-term strategic effect, right? When we make these choices together, and it sounds like all hands on deck too. That's really inspiring. It's not just one person, one organization that's doing all of this. It's everyone together that makes it effective. Before we go, I wanted to turn it over to both of you. What do you recommend our viewers do next? Kevin, I'll start with you. What do you recommend?
Yeah, to our viewers here today, I definitely recommend learning more about our ordinance and understanding what the new requirements mean. You can do so by checking out our website. It has everything on there. It has a summary, so you don't have to read through the full text of the ordinance. When you're out eating, don't forget to request your accessories like straws, napkins, only when you absolutely need them. Make sure you're taking only what you really need at the self-serve stations and dispensers. And if you can, we really encourage you to bring your own reusables instead of using the single-use disposables. And after you're done with your meal, make sure you properly sort and dispose your foodware accordingly.
That's awesome. Thank you. Lawrence, what do you recommend?
Sure. I definitely echo Kevin's recommendations for residents and citizens. There's a lot that you can do personally to influence this whole movement and help this ordinance in particular be successful. If there are owners of food businesses or managers of food businesses here on this call, or if you have relationships with local restaurants, maybe there's family, friends, or just members of your community, make sure they know about the ordinance. And please encourage them to get in touch with our Ware team because we are here to help. We have excellent resources available to do so, and we want to make this transition as easy as possible and as impactful as possible. So please encourage food facilities to get in touch with the Ware team. We have the hotline email down below, foodware@smcgov.org. And so that's a good way to reach us and to get in touch.
Fantastic. And
we also have a hotline phone number as well. So you can call the hotline anytime. It gets channeled through to our Ware team. So we are here to answer your questions, help you figure out how to make the transition and find the right compliant products that meet the needs of your food facilities. So help us spread the word.
Fantastic. Thank you. Well, gosh, I've learned so much today, and I thank you both for joining us. Everything that we do together seems to be so comprehensive and collaborative when we learn a little bit more and there's a little bit more education and reasoning behind it. So, it's not just cleaning up our waterways. It's not just making sure things go into the right bin. It's when we do that all together that we see that sustainable future. So thank you both for your time today. And I just wanted to let you share your final thoughts before we say goodbye. Any final thoughts, Kevin?
Nope. Just make sure you check out our website. It has a vast suite of resources that we spent a lot of time developing. And yeah, check out our social media pages too.
Cool. Thank you. Lawrence, final thoughts before we say goodbye today?
Sure. We'll just summarize it. Plastic is everywhere. It's a huge issue, but there's lots of great solutions. So remember to be Ware aware.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you both so much. I'm going to say goodbye to you both for today. Thank you again for your time and teaching us so much about the new ordinance and how to stay connected and learn more about it together. Thank you both.
Thank you so much.
Of course. All right. So thank you everyone for joining us this morning to discuss the waste we create and what is being done to help all of San Mateo County reduce that waste at restaurants and food facilities with the county's Office of Sustainability and Environmental Innovations. Stay connected and involved in our work by following us on Instagram, Twitter, or YouTube at SustainSMC, which you can see on the bottom here. You can find more information about the County Office of Sustainability and the work we do by visiting our website as well, which is smcsustainability.org. Really quick before we go, our behind the scenes guru, Rachel Launder, it's her second to last day today. I just wanted to give her a shout out. The work that she does behind the scenes is tremendous and means so much to me. I've learned so much from her, and we wouldn't be able to communicate and stay connected with you all if it wasn't for her work. So thank you, Rachel. We wish you the best as you head on to your next adventure. Thanks everyone for tuning in today, and we'll see you next time. I'm Camille Lang, and this has been Sustainability Matters.